blocked off 19,655 individual spaces on our tee sheets for groups of members and residents. Only 12,766 of those tee times actually got used. That's only 65%. So if you do the math and extrapolate that, even if we had only sold 30% of those tee times had they been made available, that's over $107,000 that we let walk out the door. Because groups, they book for 25, they show up with 12. They book for 35, they show up with 26. They book for 12, they show up with 9. It's got to stop. And go ahead and any questions on that first agenda item? No? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, they're a fairly well-known golf course and club operations consultation firm based in Orlando. They service a lot of golf courses in the North Florida, South Florida, and Alabama sections. To be honest, I had never interacted with them before their visit. That would be a question for Jeff and Kevin. Mm-hmm.
So, part of our contract with First Service is that there's an annual independent golf course evaluation that's part of that contract. So this is the company that was brought in to do that independent evaluation for this year. They did it in December of 2025, right?
Yep.
So it's part of the First Service agreement that every year we do an independent course evaluation. That's included in the contract pricing that we have with First Service. It's not an additional charge over and above.
Sure.
Of those, the period you're talking about the number of rounds that were booked by groups in here.
Hang on. People at home need to hear you too.
Okay. I think everybody in here can hear me.
Okay, to restate my question, during the period you're talking about, you gave us the numbers for the number of rounds reserved by groups here, the number of rounds that were actually used. Of the remaining rounds that were available, how many of those were sold during that period? The reason I'm asking is for a long time, we weren't a very desirable place for outside people to come to. Mm-hmm. So I think that's part of it. And I think, to your point, as our course has improved, then we have to be much more cautious about having times go wasted because they're not used. I think it's a good historical number to know about, but during that time, I don't think there was a big demand for those available tee times. I'm not arguing against doing something about it now. I'm just stating that may have been part of...
Right. And you are likely absolutely correct.
Okay.
One of the things, and it's skipping around the agenda a little bit, but one of the recent things I started, because I noticed that we only had 166 reviews on Golf Now, even though we had been utilizing their services for almost a year now. And I wanted to try to do something to encourage repeat play through that service and get people to review us and drive up our SEO score. And so I started handing out coupons at the register and on the golf carts. If you came here through Golf Now, I give you a slip that says, if you go write us a review and then bring this back with you and show me the review that you wrote on your cell phone, I will give you $10 off your next round of golf. And so that's been in play now for a week and a half, and we've got 11. And now we're up to 182. And most of them are 4 and 5 stars. Right. We did get a 1-star yesterday, but they never actually played. No, they came and I wouldn't let them out because it was still frozen, and they left in a huff, and then they decided to be ugly. So, it is what it is. I can't do much about that. All right. Number 2, current state of memberships, golf revenues, and etc. So, as of right now, you have 140 members spread across all categories. That's equity, seasonal, family, so on and so forth. We sold one membership in January, a fellow named Thomas Grady. He actually does not live in the neighborhood. He lives in Marion Oaks. And so I think that's a good avenue for future success and to sell more memberships in this coming year. I think we should explore an avenue where there is a membership option that is a good rate for people that don't live here. I think a lot of what hurt us in the past, public play, repeat play wise, was not only was the golf course not desirable for a long time, but also a lot of people, they would assume that because it's a gated community, it's private, right? And that's not the case. And so I think, yes. No, Thomas Grady. Don't get excited. I know you're a Pats fan. Don't get excited.
Hey, Brad? Is that 140 members? What's that converted into memberships? Like
Correct. That's 140 people
right.
that are members.
So the memberships would be like 105 or something?
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got all the specifics if you want to hear them. But and some good news, golf revenue-wise, this is the fun part. In December, $36,981 from public green fees. That's well over our target, and that does not include any of the Golf Now prepaid rounds because we get paid for those later. So on the report that I get, it says Golf Now prepaid $0, and then we reconcile that when we get our payments, and then you have a total revenue number. So I don't have the revenue number for Golf Now from December, but I can tell you there was 154 prepaid rounds in December. So add that to the public revenue line. And then in January, $45,208 from public green fees, 295 rounds of golf prepaid through Golf Now. So it's doing this. It is wonderful to see. And a lot of that's the way we treat people, but the biggest thing is the golf course. And it's I hear all the time from people that come in now, because there's several people that they're playing here twice a week now, or they're playing here 3 times a month now. And I hear it all the time that at $50, this golf course is a steal. And I hear that all the time, and I love that. That is, for what we are right now, that's exactly the feedback that I want. Because I don't need to be Ruth's Chris right now. I'm cool with being Outback until we get a certain reputation in the community. I've been approached by several people so far about when am I going to think about raising the rates for public play, and my answer so far is not yet. I don't personally feel that we've been in good shape long enough yet. And that's in the consultation report as well, that a lot of the reputation online, reputation in the community, it dates back to 2 years ago. So I think if we're in great shape, if we survive transition really, really well, which Pat seems supremely confident that we will, and you won't see any suffering in the course conditions come spring and summer, I think if we're in great shape for the next year, then I think we can entertain the notion of raising those rack rates. But we also have I have a dynamic pricing structure in place with Golf Now, so it's an algorithm. And what happens is on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if we're already at 50% tee sheet utilization, so if we're already more than half booked and there's limited times available, it jacks the rate up to $60 before noon. So they'll pay a premium if we're already busy and they want that tee time. So raising rates is something I would think about in the future, but not yet. Golf shop merchandise wise, our budget is for $2,600 in sales month to month. December we were at $3,852. January we're at $4,860. So way over target. February is going to blow it out of the water. We had 2 very successful demo days from Callaway and Odyssey. A lot of folks got fitted. A lot of folks purchased golf clubs. They're coming soon, I promise. That was going to be your next question, Clay, right? Is my driver shipped yet? It's coming. They're going to come back. So the Callaway guys are going to come once a month. Titleist is coming this spring as well. I haven't nailed down a firm date for that, but Titleist is going to be with us. Cleveland Strixon's coming as well. And any brand that you guys would like to see me reach out to, don't be shy. Like, come see me. Say, hey, can we get the PXG guy out here? Hey, can we get the Cobra guy out here? You know, I'm more than happy to make a phone call and try to make that happen. Any questions about revenue, memberships? Sure.
Dan, we need you to use the mic, please. We can't hear you on streaming if you're not on the mic.
The question is, how are you capturing the people when they come in and sign up from the outside? Are they giving you the emails, their locations, where they're coming from? How are you capturing that?
Yeah, so not location per se. If they book online, then we have their email information, or we at least have the email of the person that made that reservation. Other than that, it's data capturing at the point that you're talking to them. And so we have not done a tremendous job of that. But there is going to be a little dangling carrot. Hey!
When are they gonna do something with 484? Takes me 20 minutes to get here in the morning, hour and 15 it just took
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Probably several times. You know, took me 2 hours and 10 minutes this morning. It made me do a U-turn and go above Ocala on 75 and come down that way. Yeah.
All right.
But anyway,
Continue on.
yeah. So in the future, there's going to be a little dangling carrot exercise where if you put your email address and your phone number on this sheet of paper I've got on the counter, then you're going to put in a drawing every month, and it's going to be for a big prize, like not a round of golf, not a whatever. We're going to think of something really cool to give away so that people will actually do it. Hey, buddy.
How are you?
All right. Current marketing campaigns and strategies that are currently in place. This was something brought in by or suggested. It was nice reading the consultation report and talking to Scott that a lot of the ideas that he said we should do and things that he thought would be successful were things that that I was already starting to do anyway. And it doesn't. And I'm a big fan of grassroots, pound the pavement kind of stuff that doesn't cost us a lot of money. It's just a matter of going and doing it and building that and starting that relationship with different people. So as of right now, we have the Golf Now $10 coupon I told you about. There are now stacks of coupons at the Hampton Inn, the Ocala Sun RV Park, the Wildfire RV Park, Hackaway's Driving Range, and the Fairfield Marriott. And these are all now, they're all bookable fees in our point of sale system so that when they book that tee time, because it's not available online, they have to call, they have to mention that they have this coupon, they have to bring it with them, and they're all numbered so we can staple them through the receipts and we can track how many rounds we get from each property. I don't know how many of you are familiar with where I came from, Shipyard Golf Club in Hilton Head. He is. That is a very, that is the busiest golf course on Hilton Head Island. 27 holes. They did 76,000 rounds of golf in 2024. And I laughed when I first got here that we have 5 rates at Summer Glen. Shipyard had 84. Because everybody got a different rate based on where they were staying. So you had a different rate for this Marriott, different rate for this hotel, different rate for this timeshare. Kind of thing, and I don't think that's an unhealthy thing at all. And so we used that data to renegotiate those contracts every couple of years. And so, why would I give you the best deal around if I only got 200 rounds from you last year? That kind of thing. So that's an ongoing practice of mine, and what I try to do in the community is develop relationships with all of these entities around here. Also exploring reciprocal arrangements with other clubs in the area. Like I want members at Juliet Falls, if they're aerifying, to come over here. If they have a tournament, their members can't play, send them my way. And then also, When that high school opens, one of my first calls is going to be to the athletic director. I want high school golf out here. That was always something. Junior golf is something that I've been very passionate about for a long time. We were a host facility for the first tee of the Carolinas at Statesville Country Club, where I came from. I did 3 classes a week for upwards of 20 to 30 youth at a time. Not just me. There was volunteers, obviously, because that's just a lot. But, PGA Junior League, we did that as well. So I would love to see a men's high school team and a women's high school team with Summer Glen as their host facility. And what we did at Statesville, we did not charge them anything as far as a fee for using the facility. In exchange, we got first dibs on their uniforms and their bags and their gear to be their supplier. And then also, once a week, their practice was dedicated to golf course maintenance. So all the kids got sand buckets, they would fill divots, they would fix ball marks, and that way they kind of bought in and had ownership of the facility. So yeah, I would love to see that if we can make that happen. And then one last thing, I'm developing a tournament packet to go, and coordinating with John about that, to piggyback food and beverage off of the golf course itself to make tournaments in the area, booster clubs, fundraisers, make our golf course an attractive destination to host your event. And there's the packet I'm working on, you would have a la carte option for if you want this buffet, it's this much, you want this lunch, it's this much, you want a nice prime rib dinner, it's this much. And so that way we have something that when someone reaches out to me or I reach out to them, hey, can we have your tournament here? I have something physical to hand them. And then that starts the negotiation process. So look forward to that in the next couple of months. That's something John and I are working on. Any questions on any of that?
Hang on, Bob.
Just a quick question. If we were to put a beverage cart on the course, would that be through John and the restaurant, or would that be through the golf club?
It is my understanding, and I could be wrong, it is my understanding that any beverage cart in the future would be John's responsibility to staff and to arrange.
Okay, well, I think, I mean, I've seen one out here. I'm not sure. It seems to me that would be a benefit to whoever's responsible for it, because that's the way it works at most of the other clubs I've been associated with. But I was just curious, is that something that could happen in the future?
Oh, I will absolutely advocate for that. I already have, and I will continue to do so. I think that it's to not have, and even if we don't have an actual beverage cart per se from an equipment standpoint, at least let's put a couple of coolers on a regular golf cart and have someone out there. I think when you get to a certain level of play, especially in the hot months, you're leaving money on the table foolishly if you don't offer that kind of service. I would love to get a phone call saying, "Hey, where is she? I haven't seen her yet." That would be a great problem to have. I saw a hand go up over here.
So I have a question as to marketing and getting memberships from non-residents. Reaching out to the hotels and doing that type of stuff I think is great. What about reaching out to some of the non-golf course housing developments in the area, like a JB Ranch, et cetera, getting together with perhaps their board of directors and saying, if your residents here want to have a golf membership at Summer Glen, here's our deal for you.
Absolutely.
And
It's a great
I think
idea.
that would be a great idea.
We also did at some of my other clubs, we did a mileage-based non-resident membership where it was a fairly low price, but if you lived more than 30 miles away from the facility itself. And what that did at Cross Creek when we did that, because we were located about 35 miles from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, where there's a lot of great golf courses, and pricing it where we did and putting the mileage cutoff where we did, it gave those people an incentive to drive 45 minutes to get to their golf course because it was better deal than staying in Winston-Salem. So yes, I love housing developments that don't already have that amenity of a golf course, and I love doing a mileage-based non-resident membership option as well.
Something real quick. What is your relationship with the restaurant currently? I know Monday we had every cart I think we own was out on the course, yet the restaurant was closed. And also we've talked about maybe a nine and dine, something like that. So where are we going with that?
Yeah, the Nine and Dine is in progress. That's something me and John are still working on. I would love to see that started no later than the time change. I think as soon as the time that as soon as we spring forward, we'll have the daylight to do that. I'm thinking like a, 5 o'clock shotgun kind of deal, But yes, my relationship with the restaurant right now is positive and collaborative. There's certain things that I would like to see. I like food service, or at least a limited menu and a bar available on Monday. I think would be a great thing, but that's not up to me. Yeah. If you want a breakfast sandwich, see Howard on Monday mornings.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Okay, you mentioned our membership right now. The membership is at what number?
140.
Okay, what do you see max membership at? Because you really need to look at that for playtime.
Right.
So what is your max membership that you're trying to achieve?
For an 18-hole facility, in my experience, a good, comfortable number is around 250 golf members. 400, you're pushing it on an 18-hole facility as far as a tee time availability standpoint. I would not necessarily at this point look to put a cap on it, and that certainly would not be a decision that I would be making. But 140 is not enough.
No, it should be around 300.
Yeah.
My home course, and Patrick, nice meeting you. Brad, you spoke earlier. Be careful about your tournaments. That's the only thing I have to say, because it's not fair to that man to try to maintain a course that's beat up constantly. Have a couple tournaments. It's profitable at certain, points, but it's not fair to that man to try to fix it all the time.
Yeah.
So
Well-
there's a cost efficiency there
Yeah.
of how much you can fix and how much the courses get beat up by these tournaments.
Well, I know the maintenance budget has gone up, so I think we'll be able to handle more play.
Pat, you need to talk into the mic, please.
Oh, I'm saying the maintenance budget has gone up, I believe, for this golf course, so we will be able to keep up with more play, with aeration, verticutting, and, stuff like that. I'm not too worried about overplaying. As long as we keep moving stakes, people stay on the 90-degree rule, we should be able to maintain, playable fairways, greens.
And we're somewhat limited in as far as a field size goes for any outside tournament that we do have, just because we have 42 golf carts. So we can't do the double up every hole 150 player shotgun with fleet carts. We only have we have a limited supply, and not really any room to get more. That's 42 is about the most we can fit in there.
So this is for Pat. What is the number one issue that we as golfers can do to help you out?
Good question. Where do I begin? No.
Yeah, you opened up a can of worms there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the usual, always sticking to a 90-degree rule, I like. I mean, don't worry about, beating down the roughs, even this time of year. They'll come back strong. They have a deep root system. They can handle it. Fairways, a shallower root system. They really can handle it. Golfers always scatter, don't follow the guy right in front of you, when you pull off into the grass. Always fixing ball marks. I still am seeing quite a few ball marks out there. Fix yours and one other. It's pretty much that simple to keep up. Quit yelling at my guys when they're you know, this equipment, it's very expensive, as you all know. And, I mean, shutting it off, turning it back on, it's not good for it. So, you know, I tell them to, you know, idle down. And, you know, a slow, constant noise shouldn't disrupt you, so try to deal with that. But, yeah, just fundamental stuff like that should keep the course in good shape.
I've been here 14 years. I think it's fantastic, everything that's going on now. I've been a member for 14 years, really like it. When I first came here, they were overseeding. And would you explain to us what we should expect in that transition from the winter to the summer? Because some people go crazy. They think they're losing the greens and all of that. But isn't it a process that as the winter grass grows out and dies, we need to have time to have it come in, and it's just a reasonable period, correct?
Right. That's, I guess, why I'm here to talk about that spring transition. And it's all weather dependent. It's all soil temperature dependent. And, you know, I've got a tool, $1,500 tool to, you know, measures pH, measures temperature, soil moisture, and, you know, as soon as those temperatures, you know, reach 60 to 65, which is different every year. I know Punxsutawney Phil says we got 6 more weeks of winter, so.
Well, he's going in the crock pot.
But, you know, so, I mean, generally, April, May, you know, I'd like to hold on to that overseed as much as possible. And even today, because we did lose some of that overseed a couple weeks ago. And, you know, we reseeded today, actually, this afternoon, some of the greens that needed it. So, you know, we'll hold on to the overseed as long as possible. I stimped the greens at a smooth 10 today. They're rolling beautifully.
Right. I just think we shouldn't get paranoid when we see the greens, when they start dying out, but the other is coming in. It's just a normal transition, correct?
Well, right. I mean, there's a couple spots on some of the slopes.
Yes.
I noticed that we
Right.
actually we're losing some Bermuda.
I've seen
And,
that,
I mean,
yes.
that's partially my fault, you know, new golf course. But I got a new guy we hired, and all he's gonna be doing is hand watering, you know, those slopes.
Yes.
And, you know, that's gonna, you know, bring it back, you know, we'll bring sod in spring if we need some.
Well, thank you. That's all I wanted to make sure, because I know when I first got here, I got paranoid because I thought the greens were dying out, you know, but it wasn't. It was just the transition, which is normal.
Yeah, well, that's why I enjoy the feedback. I mean, don't ever worry about, you know, oh, I better not tell him about this, he might not like me or something, but just who was that, Jim or someone on the board, or Jeff? Jeff? Oh, yeah, mentioned algae, you know, and I was like, what? There's no algae out there. But sure enough, there was a couple greens on those slopes. There was some algae, so I was able to hit it instantly. Looks like it's gone today, and that'll open up, you know, the air, O2, to get down in the soil and keep the roots growing, because the Bermuda roots are still growing, even though it was 17 degrees this morning when I drove through the gate. I mean, that was crazy, but the roots, yeah, we're still, you know, feeding the roots of the Bermuda while we're slowly feeding. I mean, I don't go real heavy on the nitrogen on the overseed because we don't want to get that well established, or it'll be hard to get rid of. You know, so we're hoping, you know, as it warms up, that dies back naturally and the Bermuda takes over. So it's, you know, it's just shouldn't be a problem. I mean, it's something I've done many times. It's just being here and watching it, you know. All right, you still have more?
No, you can keep going.
Okay.
We can do
Well-
this, since you already, you know. Yeah, I was here.
Oh,
and
you
then
were
this is you.
Policy?
Yeah.
You got policy changes?
Just a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, spring transition plan.
Brad, got a question for you. As the number of rounds increase, can we make sure that we keep the pace of play up?
Yes.
And that the Rangers do a job of keeping these people that are driving their carts right up to the greens, et cetera. That's causing more problems than anything else. And I think that, if we don't keep the pace of play up and we continue to have people from the outside and they get, a little disturbed about that, they might not come back. So we need to do a good job of keeping that pace of play up.
Yes. Ranger, as play increases, the Ranger activity will also increase, and I will be filling in myself along with whoever happens to be the designated Ranger that day. I like making a couple laps around the golf course anyway, just to make sure everybody's behaving themselves. And to your point about people parking next to the green, I have received a lot of pictures on my cell phone in the last month of people parking 2 feet away from the collars. Now, you could make an argument that the little blue handicap stakes were only on a couple of holes. Well, that's not the case anymore. Last week, Patrick was nice enough to give me a box of them, and I staked every green on this golf course. More than once. So there's more than one stake for every green complex. So now you will notice that none of them are in the front because I want to protect the approach. But they're all on the sides or behind the green. And so my expectation is that our handicap patrons, you guys park at the green, at those little blue stakes, not closer than that. Please help us protect the green complex areas for everybody.
Yeah, and we will move those blue stakes as needed, depending on wear and tear.
And, I was nice to you. They're about 25 feet or less in some cases from the greens. They're not way back here.
I got one thing on that. Could we get some bigger handicap placards, maybe a flag or something? So
Yes,
we
we're
can
working
see
on
or
flags.
Perfect.
So not just the little sticker that goes on your cart. We're working on a flag that you would clamp to the side of the cart when that need arises.
You finished with your presentation?
Almost.
Okay. Well, I have a couple questions, statements. I've been here 20 years. Golf board, finance company, association when we owned it, men's association, yada, yada. I have never seen the course in better shape than it is right now. Here. With all due respect to the board who I listen to, it's not advertising, it's not billboards, it's not putting it in the Marion Oaks paper. You have a good course, the golfers will come. Amen. Yeah. Cypress Golf. We're having our 19th annual Legends Tournament, and me and the rest of the board go out and get sponsors. I was contacted by Kevin, and he said Cypress would like to be a sponsor for the Legends. So, Pat, tell Scott, I've been in contact with your office. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What can we do with the course? Somebody brought that up. Dan, tell them about the divot parties we used to have.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Now, Pat, you can't do it, but if we go out on the course, I'll fill my divot and there'll be 3-4 around me.
Oh, yeah.
We used to have divot parties. Buy us a case of beer, or is Bauman here? He'll pay for it out of the Men's Association.
No, I'll buy the beer, yeah, if you guys will fill divots.
We will go out there. You remember, Dan, we had 40 carts up and down each fairway filling divots. We are more than happy to help you. Because we want to keep, this is our course. We have an attachment to us. Certainly the guys that have been here a long time do, and even the new members do. We have an attachment to this place. And one more comment. I listen to the board meetings all the time. Let the Rangers play a couple times a week. That's silly not giving them the opportunity to do that. It doesn't cost $35,000, And they're not taking tee times, because you're not gonna let them play if you have somebody that's paid for it, okay? And I think that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep going.
All right, spring transition.
Yep.
Well, like I was mentioning, you know, it depends on soil temperature. You know, as the temperature starts to rise, you know, I've actually I brought some handouts for, I don't know, I thought it was gonna be like a board meeting. And so I've got these concise, things on how to, or what we're gonna do once that soil, is getting to that temperature, which, you know, you can look at, but that's real concise. I don't wanna go through all that. I mean, to break it down, I mean, it's, you know, once the temperature's getting there, we just, you know, lower our nitrogen inputs to slow the POA trib down. And, I don't worry too much about the fairways. We let them go, but, and then we also will gradually lower the height of cut, so it's not shading out the Bermuda. We'll do a lot more vertical cutting, you know, vertical cutting and top dressing. Yeah, we got, you know, apps of ammonium sulfate or urea, which, you know, starts to encourage the Bermuda to grow. You know, any persisting ryegrass or POA, you know, we'll spray out chemically. Generally, that doesn't need to be done in Florida. Yeah, so also, you know, the night temperatures, you know, once those become 60 and above, that's when the Bermuda really starts aggressively growing, and that will probably bring us to our first aeration, where we pull plugs. I think we need to do, I'd like to do it 3 times this year. I know last year was, I think we did it twice, but greens here are real sandy, need a little more organic matter, I believe, in them. They seem to dry out very quickly. But, yeah, I mean, until, like right now, we just, you know, we're spraying a lot of iron to keep the overseed green. You know, don't want to get it too established, so, you know, want to keep the root growth shallow, so it will go away as soon as we see those temperatures in the soil rise. But, yeah, so that'll be, what, end of May? You know, once the Bermuda's going, you know, we'll get back to, you know, our quarter pound of N a week, giving them a pound a month for optimal growth. And, man, I mean, that's pretty much it. 9, including myself, and the mechanic.
That's a hell of a golf course with 9 guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 things as we go into the spring and you get ready to prepare for the transition. The one thing that this course, and I know because the former golf committee spent a couple summers pulling that cow grass. I think 3 or 4, I don't know what you call it, but it's if you get a ball in there, you can't hit it. But I know 3 or 4 of us spent probably a couple hundred hours on that course and pulled 7,000 of those things. Of course, they all come back the next year. But what is your program to make sure we don't have all that? Like last year, it was like measles out there. And the other thing that I would, John talked about a divot party. If you got a couple truckloads of good, whatever you fill in those little dips and valleys, we still have places on the course, if you drive your golf cart down there, you almost get thrown out of the golf cart.
Yeah.
And especially within the first, the 50 yards around the green where it's got to be pristine for your delicate shots. I would like to see some type of a program where you got some of that top dressing for whatever you're going to fill that stuff with and level those places out. But that cow grass is, I think, a high concern on everybody. And it really, without it, the appearance of the course through the summer months is going to be great. Last year, it was almost embarrassment bringing anybody out here because volume of those clumps of grass.
Yeah, I think you're referring to goose grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the good thing about 17 degrees, it'll actually kill that grass. I mean, it's dormant right now, but real cold weather like this will actually knock it back completely, along with insects, so a cold winter every 15 years is very beneficial, actually. So I'm hoping not to see as much goose come up, but we spray a pre-emergent herbicide called Spectacle, which, it's like $1,000 a gallon for this stuff. But it controls everything. And actually, if you drive around the course now, you see a lot of poana out there in areas we didn't spray Spectacle. Being my first year here, I can see the areas I did not spray. And so it's a great learning, curve for next year. Got to do wall to wall out here because the poana is really bad right now. But the Spectacle will keep goosegrass down. And I have a couple other chemicals to apply for post-emergence. So once spring comes, as long as we get on them early, before they tiller, it'll kill it in one app. So, yeah, I'm not too worried. The goose wasn't too bad, actually, when I got here. What was it, August? And, we knocked back a bunch of it then. And mole crickets. Oh, my gosh, never seen so many mole crickets in one place. But I don't expect to see many this year. This cold weather probably even killed some nematodes. So, yeah, I'm looking for this place to be pretty clean and pristine, come springtime. So, yeah, we got the money for the chemicals and the labor, so there's no reason why we can't make it look like Shipwreck or wherever you were. Yeah. Shipwreck? Is that?
Yeah, that's good.
Hilton Head, whatever.
Yeah. That's what they used to call it when it was.
Yeah, Shipwreck.
Yeah, before.
Well, that was funny.
That was funny. That was a good.
Kind of like Laurel and Hardy up here.
A little bit. A little bit. Yeah. I told him you asked me to go first, and that's why you're last.
Yeah, I know. Good thing.
Yeah.
Traffic. Well, any other questions? Yes, sir. Uh-oh, he's got a list.
Eggs, butter, cheese.
On the course conditions, the bald mounds on 2, is there any chance to get them playable?
No, that's going to be sodded or sprigged come springtime. Yeah.
So it'll be playable, we'll be able to, it'll be.
Well, yeah, not right now.
Understood.
As soon as it warms up.
That's great, thank you. I do want to thank anybody who was responsible, I'm not sure if it was you, for getting the practice areas looking great. As you drive up, it used to be like, Weed City, it was terrible, first impression, now it looks great, so thank you very much. I noticed something on the swag, something about the 4th hole, that if you hit the ball into the embankment on the left side, it's now, you don't have to look for a ball, you drop.
Correct. I stake that as a red penalty area all the way down the left side.
So you would drop the ball at the point of entry?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You come out sideways, drop it.
And you're hitting 4 or 3?
3.
Hitting 3. I like that.
If you hit your first shot in there.
Hit your first shot in there.
Yeah.
I like that rule.
Yeah.
That'll save me a couple of strokes. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
We talked about this, but I don't know if I should mention it now. But would there be any chance you could replace the colors of the flags that we have out there now? It's difficult to discern the red and the black and the yellow and the black and the blue and the black from any distance.
You refer to the ones on the golf course, not the driving range, correct?
On the greens.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be something we could look at, going back to solids. There is another set of pin flags in my office. They are also the checkerboard pattern. They're not solid.
Well, as long as if the colors are really different looking from a distance. Anyway, I was hoping you might be able to help with that. And I had a question. Are you familiar with like reclaimed water? You know, would reclaimed water be a benefit to Summer Glen to have on a golf course versus pumped water? Or are they equal, or you wouldn't want to ever have reclaimed water?
Yeah, well, as far as I understand it, don't we get some reclaimed pumped into our irrigation pond here? None? Oh, no wonder our water's so good. Yeah, I mean, you know, you'd rather go without it because it does change the pH and, you know, all the different bicarbonates in the waters and stuff.
Okay.
So no, yeah, well water is the best you can do
Thank you.
until we have to start paying for it.
Okay. I don't know if this is an appropriate question, but I'm going to ask it. With our deficit on the golf course over the last number of years, it's grown to about $600,000 to $700,000 in 2025, and of course, our residents make that up in our HOA dues. And so I was wondering, with all the marketing efforts that you're employing, and look forward to all of them, including the Outside Play, Golf Now, all the things that you talked about, do you have any projection as to where that deficit might be for the year 2026 at the end of the year?
As low as I can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't have any guesstimate as to how many, where we might be. I don't mean to put you on the spot, like I said, it's okay.
I would need data. And especially with our point of sale transitioning this past February, I don't have 10, 12 years back that I can look at. All the data that I can see is from from February 2025 until now.
Okay.
Now, I can tell you that something I've always been gifted at throughout my career is figuring out how to make money and saving on payroll. You know, for instance, today, sent the afternoon shop girl home early. Same thing yesterday. I sent Howard left at noon? 10:30, and I just took care of it myself. You have to actively manage people in that regard. And so, yeah, the answer is I don't know, as low as I can get it.
Okay, well, good luck with that for all of us, so thank you very much. Appreciate your help.
Anything else? Yep. One last policy change I did want to go over, and it relates to the long-standing big groups of members and resident tee times. From now on, I want 48 hours. At the 48-hour mark, I need a list emailed to me and the golf shop of who's coming. And I don't mean that to be harsh, but I have to make up that deficit, I have to have a reasonable chance to sell those tee times that you're not going to use. Okay, if you show up that morning and you're 10 short, now that tee time's gone. I can't sell it anymore, and that's not helpful to anyone. And then at this point, I'm asking you to help me. And if down the road this keeps continuing to be an issue, then the hard cutoff's going to be 48 hours. And if I don't hear from that group, then I'm going to assume no one's coming, and I'm unblocking the tee sheet. And if I sell those times, I sell them. You know, I don't want to be that guy, but it's time to be that guy.
All right.
That's all I had.
Here, hey, Brad, I got one.
Okay.
We get these outside groups that come in, and in the past, I know that they would book 60, 50 players, and they'd have 25 show up because nobody ever got a credit card or anything in the beginning. Are you correcting that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
A large group of outsiders, if they tell me that when I talk to the ringleader and I book that tee time, I am requiring a credit card to book that large group. And if you tell me 30's coming and you show up with 24, I'm not going to say you're paying for all 30, but we are going to have a conversation. Like, did they get in a wreck? Are they stuck in traffic? They have something come up. They have an emergency. I'm a reasonable person, But yes, a credit card is going to be required for large group of outside reservations. You're getting your steps in tonight.
Yeah, that's good.
When you say that you want us to call within 48 hours, to you, email to you and to the staff, or just either or both?
Both would be ideal, just to make sure, maybe it doesn't go into one spam folder, yada, yada.
Okay.
Both would be great, one for sure.
Okay. And then my second comment or question would be, I love the crushed stone for the cart paths. Are you going to continue that and maybe add on to it in the coming other holes, like on the back 9 a little bit more?
Well, I guess we're waiting to see if we're gonna get more money for that or not.
Well, I think it's an excellent addition.
Yeah, there's still a little more to do with what we've done already to tighten it up, but yeah, no, there's more to be done out there.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Patrick. Great presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good night. Have a warm ride home.
And if you